The Central Asian Report is a program about the ongoing geopolitical trends and the panorama of the present-day realities in Central Asia.
Politics, economics and culture, events, trends and people, all this on one territory. Hello, you're watching the Central Asian Report in today's program. The patchwork quilt of tourism. How are the countries of Central Asia dividing it among themselves? 20 centuries of youth, the city of Taraz across time. Diverse artistic planets. A cycle of exhibitions of Central Asian painters continues in Almaty. And coming right up, Central Asian News.
А прямо сейчас центральноазиатские новости.
Uzbekistan is to send $4.3 billion for the restoration of the Aral Sea. The government of Uzbekistan has adopted a comprehensive program on ameliorating the consequences of the Aral Sea catastrophe. Within its framework, there are plans to realize restoration works and measures on the socio-economic development of the region. The program is planned until 2018.
Тайну древних петроглифов Саймалу-Уташ намерены разгадать
The
тюркологи.
Saimalu-Tash petroglyph site is unique, containing styles from the Bronze epoch of the 8th century BC. Such a wide time span is well represented by a rich variety of pictures, images and symbols. The animal world is represented in all its variety. Despite the fact that the wall drawings are being studied for around 200 years, they are still a mystery to researchers. Now there is another chance to discover their secrets.
Остаются загадкой. Теперь появился еще один шанс познать их тайну. Трудно найти более благодарное.
It is difficult to find a more grateful place for tourism than Central Asia. Historical events, languages, cultural traditions have become tightly interwoven in this region over time. It is particularly this variety that attracts enthusiasms of tourism with an ethnocultural element. Our correspondent brings us the analysis of the unofficial rating of travelers and will tell us more on the tourism prospects of the region.
И рассматривал туристические перспективы региона.
Unique nature, rich historical heritage, and a colorful confluence of cultures. This is Central Asia. For the most sophisticated tourists, there is an abundance of things to see in the region. Desires for all types of tourism will be fulfilled: ethnocultural, extreme, recreational, environmental. In the recent times, combined tours have become popular. The unofficial regional tourism rating is led by Uzbekistan. By the way, this country in terms of its tourism potential is in the list of top 10 countries of the world. Here, many historical monuments that are on the UNESCO list have been preserved. The most popular sites for tourists from abroad are Samarkand, Bukhara and Khiva. In the last 3 years, the number of tourists coming to Uzbekistan has increased by more than 30%. The high number of specialized companies working in this sector attests to this. There are hundreds of them in Uzbekistan. They serve from 1,000 to 5,000 tourists, with some tourists now even coming by charter flights. 4 years ago, a wide-scale campaign, Mega Info Tours, was commenced in Uzbekistan. It was aimed at foreign mass media and tourism companies. In addition, almost every region of the country has a specially developed plan for the development of tourism. Another factor which has contributed to the rise in the number of tourists are the relatively low prices of tours with a quite developed infrastructure. The hotels are cheap, food and transport are cheap. The services of guides are 3 to 4 times less expensive than in Almaty. Establishment of a visa-free regime for 45 of developed countries had a positive impact on the tourism sector of this country. As a result, the number of foreign tourists increased almost twofold. Mountains, plenty of sun, and the pearl of Central Asia, the Issyk-Kul Lake, this is what attracts them. In the summer, the lakeside turns into a mecca for tourists, first and foremost from Kazakhstan and Russia. Today, there is another option for tourism. Aside from the Issyk-Kul Lake, it's the Son-Kul Lake.
На этом озере Сон-Коль выставляет порядка 50-100 юрт.
Around 50 to 100 yurts are set up around this lake where locals live. They can provide housing for tourists, food, all according to national traditions, with a bed, a kazan, pilaf, meat, and outside sheep are grazing. All this can be seen here as if traveling back to the ancient times.
Все ты можешь увидеть, как будто ты попадаешь в старые давние времена.
Turkmenistan is also a popular destination for tourism in Central Asia. Here the country's guests are interested in the mausoleums, thermal resorts, traditional crafts and horse farms where the famous Akalteke horses are bred. The wide spectrum of tourism options is also offered in Tajikistan. This includes health resorts that also offer recreational tourism and tours to the cities of the Middle Ages. In addition, tourists show interest in extreme tours across hard-to-reach places. Tajikistan largely specializes in mountain expeditions, and also jeep tours are very popular in Tajikistan.
И плюс очень популярны в Таджикистане джип-туры.
Kazakhstan. Here, a very positive dynamic can be seen in the tourism sector. The pilot project of a visa-free regime for developed countries is greatly facilitating this. Last year, a visa-free regime was introduced for 10 countries. Today, this already includes 20 countries, which has given a substantial impetus to the development of the tourism sector. In comparison with last year, taking into account the introduction of this pilot project, the attendance of our center by foreign tourists increased 2.5 times. The most popular destination for tourists in Kazakhstan are the Trans-Ili Alatau mountain range, with its modern infrastructure for mountain tourism, nature reserves, fast-flowing rivers where it is possible to go rafting, historical monuments, and cities with beautiful architecture. At the same time, the development of the sector is being held back by high prices of the tours. Access to some sites is limited by such factors as the lack of paved roads and of marketing and services. There's a lack of information, no maps, no flyers, information points where it would be possible to find info, a bad communication infrastructure. The first written record of Tolos, the ancient name of the Kazakhstani city Taraz, dates back to the 6th century. The advantageous location along the Great Silk Road, high level of development have given rise to numerous violent battles for the right to control the city. Archaeologists are still discovering artifacts that attest to the historical and cultural importance of the city. And according to Kazakhstani scientists, Taraz holds many secrets.
Считают казахстанские ученые, Тараз стоит в себе еще немало секретов.
A city of merchants, craftsmen, and scholars. That was the description of the city of Taraz back in the days. Today, this is a modern urban city of Kazakhstan and the administrative center of the Jambul region. But despite the reputation of the city, its main treasures are hidden in the ground, outside of the territory of today's center. In the 60s, ancient constructions were discovered here that date back to 11th to 12th century. However, after some time, the work of archaeologists was halted and the excavation site was leveled by bulldozers. Thus, on the ruins of the priceless monument of ancient architecture, a green bazaar was built. And the secrets of the ancient city of Taraz would have remained hidden had it not been for the initiative of Kazakhstani archaeologists, who in 2011 have reinitiated excavation works.
Эти раскопки дали массу новых данных, поскольку были вскрыты жилые кварталы древнего города.
These excavation works have added a lot to our knowledge because residential districts of the ancient city were uncovered. By looking at them, we can see that Taraz was built according to a preset plan. This is seen in the planning of the streets and construction of houses. Old water pipes were discovered, a lot of garbage holes, which indicates a quite intense life of the city at that period.
Мусорных ям, что говорит о довольно интенсивной жизни в этот период.
The middle-aged cities of the east, including Taraz, were comprised of 3 parts. The head of the city lived in the citadel, the city's residents in Shahristan, and in Rabad, craftsmen. A large part of the citadel constructions was lost. But through the efforts of the local experts in museum studies, the spa hammam was preserved.
Для Таразской бани характерно, что она состоялась из 4 помещений. То есть предбанник, массажный, 2 паровых помещения.
It had 4 rooms, a waiting room, a massage room, and 2 steam rooms. It is surprising, but the heating system of the spa bath exactly replicates the room on thermal spas. Under the floor, there are special canals through which hot steam was delivered, thus heating up the bath.
Подогревались из-под пола. То есть под полом запускался горячий дым, воздух, благодаря чему это помещение обогревалось.
Aside from the thermal bath, also 1/4 of the medrese was preserved here, which is the most ancient Muslim school in Kazakhstan. Also at the excavation site, many artifacts were discovered. Ancient coins, unique ceramic jars, containers decorated with various anthropomorphic imagery. Fragments of ceramic items with drawings of aquatic birds and animals were also found. Another important finding was a ceramic panel picture depicting a hunting scene. Thus, overall, such a rich abundance of materials was discovered that it was decided to shoot a movie about the site and Taraz. The film Taraz and the Flow of History was intentionally dedicated to the 550-year anniversary of the Kazakh Khanate.
Во времена образования Казахского ханства, да, именно территория Жамбыльской области,
During the formation of the Kazakh Khanate, the current territory of the Jambal region played a huge role in the ethnogenesis of Kazakhs. Thus, these people who gathered here, clans and tribes, decided to become one people.
Да, они решили стать одним народом.
6 billion tenge have been allocated to the archaeological works, restoration of monuments, and construction of touristic objects on the territory of the city. According to the plans, the park Ancient Taraz will occupy a territory of 20 hectares. Here a Congress hall will be built, exhibition pavilions, hotels and restaurants with national cuisine, as well as a trade and entertainment center into which private companies are investing 10 billion tenge from their own funds. Such huge investments will provide an impetus to the rebirth of the ancient city and its transformation into a cultural and historic trademark of the region.
У каждого мастера, который работает в изобразительном искусстве,
Every master who is working in the field of visual arts has their own worldview. That is why it is impossible to find two artists that are identical. This can be seen at the exhibitions where painters from different cities and countries presented their works. In Almaty, the southern metropolis of Kazakhstan, an exhibition of Central Asian painters is being held. We try to get a feel for the worldviews of the painters that presented their works here.
здесь свои картины.
For a period of 10 years, Central Asian painters had their own pavilion at the Venetian Biennale. When it was no longer organized, the masters of visual arts ended up in an exhibitional void, primarily focusing on their creative endeavors. That is why the appearance of a platform in the southern metropolis of Kazakhstan, which has facilitated the start of a cycle of monographic exhibitions of contemporary painters of Central Asia, was met with great inspiration.
Нам бы хотелось фокусироваться на художников.
We wanted to focus on the painters particularly from our region, because let's say who if not us is supposed to show interest in this field of art, and where if not here in Kazakhstan should we present the painters of Central Asia.
Должны показываться вот художники Центральной Азии.
The first member of this group of painters was Yerbasun Jibek with the project Eternal Return. Using elements of humor, the painter demonstrates paradoxical situations that accompany the process of establishment of a national identity in the region. Combining the changes that have taken place in post-Soviet Central Asia, Jibek contemplates.
Все вы проявляете удивительную пытливость к сегодняшней реальности.
You are all expressing incredible inquisitiveness in today's real world. You are all with great attention, but in different ways, reflecting on the experience of life in our times, trying to find the key to this experience, the experience of a post-Soviet life, which brings closer together a huge region.
Вот тому очень конкретному опыту постсоветской жизни, который, в общем, сближает огромный регион.
The next in the cycle of exhibitions are the works of Viktor Vorobyov and Yelena Vorobyova, also from Kazakhstan. Their exhibition is titled The Artist Asleep and reflects the inacceptance of true art by the current environment. According to them, a true artist creates outside the boundaries of trends and tendencies.
Почему у нас художник спит? Потому что он думает.
Why is our artist asleep? Because they are thinking.
Спит, сколько думает, размышляет.
One can say that the title of the exhibition is very adequate concerning the makeup of artists. Within it, scenographically, a fragment of a regular day is recreated, a bed with a sleeping human figure on top. Thus, being for an artist is inseparable from daily routine. Ahead, the visitors of the museum will have a chance to witness the works of Gulnara Kasmalieva, Muratbek Jumaliyev from Bishkek, Vyacheslav Akhunov from Uzbekistan, and Almagul Minlibayeva and Saida Atabekova from Kazakhstan. It should be noted that despite the commonality of the region and a similar historical experience, the artists are very different in their manners and delivery.
Может быть, этим как раз.
Maybe that's what differentiates the Central Asian region from others, the fact that it is very disparate, mosaic, very diverse.
Он очень мозаичный, он очень разнообразный.
All the visual artists are well known abroad but can hardly be found in the pavilions of Central Asia. This cycle of exhibitions is meant to change the state of affairs and to give an opportunity to the fellow compatriots of these painters to discover their works of art.
На этом все.
You are watching the Central Asian Report. Until next time on Kazakh TV.